Back to the story now. It's not always possible or affordable for small businesses and individuals to access proper legal services, whether it be advice or support. Lawyered Up is a legal tech startup aimed at providing these services to small and medium-sized enterprises and to make it more understandable. In addition, it provides a free service to help those who are suffering at the hands of gender-based violence. To tell us more, I am joined by the founder and CEO, Serisha Barrat. Serisha, I hope that our connection holds this time. Just tell us a little bit about Lawyered Up and what's it all about.
Thank you so much. I do apologize for that. So, democratizing access to legal, making that more accessible as well as affordable.
Serisha, apologies. I think you might have muted yourself. Oh, no, you're fine, Serisha.
Are we good now?
Yes, please continue.
Perfect. So democratizing access to legal, making that more accessible as well as affordable to small to medium-sized businesses as well as startups. And I think being a startup myself, I understood what those pain points were to be able to assist startups within the African continent. So we have expanded into both Botswana and Kenya on the African continent right now, making legal more accessible within your different stages of your startup. So being your seed phase, your venture capital, all the way up to scale. And how we're making this affordable as well as accessible is AI technology. So we've been teaching a machine for the last 2.5 years on answering legal questions, on extracting information from one document to be able to auto-populate that into another, making it more affordable as well as accessible when it comes to turnaround times for these specific documents, depending on the stage of your startup. But I strongly believe that our access to job opportunities is also something that's been an issue, which Lawyered Up is also catering to within the legal community. So we do also offer that portal of job opportunities. So if you are a lawyer, you're able to register on the platform, pay a monthly subscription, and pretty much obtain that monthly subscription back within your first consultation or legal interaction for our small to medium-sized businesses as well as startups on the platform. Further to that, I think it's highly important that every one of our businesses give back one way or another. So Lawyered Up gives back towards GBV victims as well as abuse victims. And this is something that is very close to my heart, something that I have suffered as well. So just understanding what those pain points were when it comes to accessibility and affordability. And I just think that having access to a justice system is it's part of your basic human rights and every right to every individual around the world. And it's something that most South Africans may not have, may not know that their rights are there. You know, it's heard. We're there to be assist. And you are part of the vulnerable. You know, when you think GBV, when you think child abuse, you are vulnerable and you don't know who to go to, where to go to. And I remember back when I went to actually go and report it, police would laugh at me and say, you know, what are you even talking about? And it wasn't something that was taken seriously. So realizing what those pain points were, each one of my businesses give back. So with Lawyered Up, we've teamed up with Grace Foundation. So we assist lower LSM communities within the Cape Town region with protection orders and with pro bono attorneys. And then from a social worker standpoint, Grace Foundation assists us with those services. We also go to schools within the communities like Delft, Khayelitsha, lower LSM communities within Cape Town, where we create awareness around gender-based violence and what is gender-based violence, what makes you uncomfortable, what doesn't, and what access you have to legal facilities within your specific regions. So my business gives back 2% of its revenue towards GBV, but we've partnered with a foundation which I have founded called Art of Charity. I sell my paintings, I help GBV victims. We create care packs, which include roll-ons, toothbrushes, a little anonymous note to GBV victims, a diary, sweets. So we create these care packs to give the victims after they've left the hospital, to give them a little bit of hope with what we do have access to. But from a legal standpoint, it's all about creating awareness. It's all about knowing, what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do and who do you go to for help. So that's where we come into play. But creating job opportunities, giving back to our local communities, as well as expanding on the African continent to create that affordability as well as accessibility to your small to medium-sized businesses as well as startups. And as they grow, they are able to create job opportunities. And I think the one thing that we need to make sure is that our businesses are compliant. So when we think legal, we think inaccessible, we think scared, we think that it's something that we can't afford. But if we can find means like Lawyered Up to be able to come to, we are able to scale and create as we go along.
The organization is certainly multifaceted, and you've explored on various aspects of that. But what I find interesting is that the organization makes legal processes accessible to everyone. Not everyone is aware of what their legal rights are. This isn't something that young people are taught at school at a foundation level. So I think this is something that is extremely important. Just talk to us about what some of the reasons are why legal processes are not so readily accessible to specifically young South Africans, and why there are so many loopholes and obstacles for people in the country to really know their rights and to know what they can do in certain situations.
So I think it all comes down to, your hourly rate when it comes to your general attorneys and all the overheads and costs that comes with. And I think with having a legal tech startup that is scalable and reducing all of those costs, we are able to afford that accessibility and afford to give it at the rates that we are. So when I think about when I used to work back in legal about 10 years back, overheads are like high rental. It's your printing costs. It's your paying attorneys that are on your roll. But with Lawyered Up, we do not pay attorneys to work for Lawyered Up. We pay them as per an Uber platform almost. So if you do need legal services, you're able to request those services, and then lawyers get paid upon request. So not only is it affording lawyers the opportunity to have their full-time jobs, but it's also affording them the opportunity to work remotely and, depending on jurisdiction, to be able to work from wherever they are and have different forms of income streams. So you're able to register on the platform and then service a specific startup within your industry that you specialize in, as well as location and jurisdiction. So hypothetical situation, Kenya attorneys register on the platform and service Kenya startups. So our main way to enter markets is B2B2C. So we're looking at incubators and accelerators, and those specific incubators and accelerators then house specific startups. And those are the startups that we assist. And when we think about legal, we always think that it has to be expensive. But with technology, we're able to reduce those costs, which makes it less expensive as well as accessible, regardless of where you are on the continent or
Serisha,
the world.
we are running out of time, but quickly, how do people join the platform? Is it an app that they download? Is it a website that they go to? Just quickly, what are those details?
So right now it is a web app, so you're able to log onto Lawyered Up's website, register as an attorney, register as a startup, and then we'll get back to you. We are accumulating emails at the moment to let you know once the app launches. We have been, teaching this machine for the last year and a half, so we are looking to launch in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So quite excited about that. So if you do go onto the platform, which is our web app, and leave your email address, we will notify you once we've launched as an app.
Amazing. Serisha, thank you very much for your time and your insights. And once again, congratulations on all of your achievements and this amazing organization that is definitely going to assist so many people who desperately need it, specifically here in our country, South Africa. That was the founder and CEO of Lawyered Up, Serisha Barrat.